So, good day of Test cricket for me. I enjoyed it. Got an opportunity to go down to Newlands today, and I rushed home to come and do this show with you. We're going to be obviously testing the Wi-Fi at the stadium tomorrow to see if it's going to hold up for us to be able to do a nice. I would say it's almost like I can't say a reunion, but it's almost like a family day. Because we will be joined by some of the guys that you've seen on the channel, and we'll be live together in a room together talking about cricket like we've loved to do for so long. But it was really awesome to be able to go down to Newlands, meet up with all the journalists that I haven't seen such a long time, and really get to catch up with some of my buddies and my friends that I haven't seen in a long time, obviously, because we only get to see them during cricket season, really. And it was good to have a chat, to have cricket conversations continuously throughout the day. Yeah, we chatted about a little bit of other things too, but the majority of the time it has been about cricket. And let me just give you the match situation. So South Africa bowled India out for 223. India showing some batting issues once again in this particular test. Day one, of course, of the third test at Newlands. I can give you my assumption or my opinion of the what I saw, particularly in the morning session, which I thought was supposed to be the most important session, given the overhead conditions, etc. But we'll obviously get some insight from some of the other guys as well to give some insight on that too. But I thought that South Africa in the first hour, they weren't bowling at the their bowling wasn't up to scratch from my point of view. I obviously would have hoped that they would have gotten 2 wickets down early in the first hour rather than getting into a situation where I felt that they were bowling a little bit. There were inconsistencies with regards to the bowling in the first hour, but they got into the swing of things slowly but surely, and they got better and better and better as the day went along. So and they were excellent, of course, as we know. As you saw, 223, excellent performance from South Africa from that point of view. And now South Africa are into bat, and they're on 17 for 1. Now, we've lost our captain, unfortunately. I missed that wicket. I was on my way home. So I'll ask Umpo to give me a good description of the wicket, of course, because he will be joining us very soon. But just to give a quick summary, KG Rabada bowled excellently. I thought he was excellent today, 4 for 73. I mean, talking about inconsistencies, I mean, that's someone that we were talking about, that we had some concerns over his performances throughout the test series, but he's just gotten better and better and better, and that's what match rhythm does for you. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this particular show. Let's get into this discussion and in this review. It's been a good day for South Africa so far, but before we get started, subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine, guys. Please do that. Subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to, of course, subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. The link is in the description, and it's 100% free. Every episode straight to your inbox every single month. We've got a full panel for you tonight, guys. You also have the opportunity to call in and have your say if you want to. The link is in the description as well as in the live chat. Guys, let's get straight into today's video. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine.
Oh,
What a panel. It's like the Avengers assembling. Look at this.
It's like Avengers assemble. Sorry, I'm just going to mute you there, Tape Chip. I think I'm hearing some echo from your side. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm loving this. We haven't had a full panel like this in a long time, so I'm really excited about this one. Let's go around the room quickly. Let's get your summary points first and foremost before we get into the debates. And Richa, we can start with you.
okay, all right, great. Great to have a full panel after quite a while, and I'm glad that you, Bo, and Shepu could watch the game live. What a day of Test cricket! I think generally we've got a lively wicket, a bowling lineup that really played to potential and beyond, and one man in the Indian team who gave us a masterclass today. So I think we've had it all. and I'm excited to see what the next day holds. At this, but at the end of the Indian innings, I thought 223 was perhaps about 50, 60 runs short. But I think after Dean Elgar was dismissed, India sort of clawed back a little bit of that advantage. So yeah, we'll have to see what tomorrow brings. But all in all, I thought South Africa were brilliant today. I think KG Rabada bowled his first ball at 141 kilometers per hour, and I thought, there we go, we're in for a treat today. But just generally to watch that duel between KG and Virat was unbelievable. That was Test cricket at its best, and it reminded me of the duel between Sachin Tendulkar and Dale Steyn and Gautam Gambhir and Mone Mokul back in 2011 when they weren't able to rotate strike for 56 minutes. So this reminded me of that. It was proper Test cricket, and I think we're all lucky to have watched it.
Yeah, I mean, KG was brilliant. And Paul, you can give us a little bit of an insight of what you saw. I mean, watching KG live today, I was really impressed with him, and it was a question about rhythm, getting his rhythm, and as the test goes on, he'll obviously get better, and that's exactly what has happened.
Yes, he did. And remember, this side hadn't played a lot of cricket as they before the series, so it was a little bit tougher for them to get themselves back in. India have played cricket all around the year. Well, Test cricket, not just general cricket. It is his 50th Test, so he had to come through. You could see that he was more motivated today to come in and to step through. I don't know if it was Dean Elgar's words or whatever it was, but it was his 50th Test. It was good to see him come through. I love that spell to Virat. I think it was just perfect. I think there were some balls that were unplayable, but then Virat with the counter punch, trying to keep India in the game. That was good to see, especially after all like the press conference yesterday that Virat had. I think he was angry. I think it was just angry. I want to say the other word, but I don't want to say it on CFM. But I think because every time everyone was like, the questions were your form, and he was like, no, but my form. Yes, I have dips in form. Like, it's not a big deal, and it's largely because I've created the expectation for everybody else to think that I could bat this way, and he did. I think it's unfortunate that he couldn't get to 100. I think it would have been great for India, and I think it would have been great for him. But it's a step in the right direction for Virat Kohli. The batters around him, I kind of felt that some of them got good balls, others were just a little bit loose, and India will be very disappointed in that because 223 at Newlands, average first inning scores 287. You are about 60 runs short, even though this wicket, fast bowlers of the past 5 years have gotten more joy than what you would normally want. But I was expecting putting South Africa into bat on a wicket that didn't. It wasn't the wondrous wicket. It had a little bit more bounce. It had a little bit something. You could and you could bat if you applied yourself, and that's what Virat did. I think Virat took a leaf out of KL Rahul's book in terms of his defense and the way he approached the game, and just that's why he got that 70. And we watched it because it was a guy who was batting within himself for the first half of that innings, and as he got along, he got a little bit more comfortable, and he was able to impose himself and change the momentum of the innings. South Africa find themselves, I think, still in the advantage. Largely because Aiden's there, and Aiden's playing straighter, guys. Aiden's playing straighter. He is like those two punches down the wicket were so beautiful, so straight. Head position was still, and he's playing in the V. He's not playing to extra cover and point. He's playing in the V. That's what we want. And if he can do that with those hard hands, and it's a big job for him tomorrow because he needs to set the tone. He needs to allow the innings to be built around him. And that's going to be quite key for South Africa tomorrow. But today, South Africa have done an incredible job, and they'll be happy after losing the toss for the third time and being put into bat.
Mm-hmm. So, Seppo and James, I see as well there in the car with you, is it not? Just unmute yourself there, boy. I can't. Yeah, cool. There we go.
Wait, Costa, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
How's it, guys? Yo, we saw some test cricket today. Boys. Yo. From the get-go, from ball number one, the new ball bowlers, KG, Duan Olifir, doing the things, fantastic lines, fantastic lengths. Virat Kohli, an absolute masterclass today. I was even like a one-man crowd trying to throw a game, just shouting, "Come on, Virat, get us a six, man!" But this man was so focused until his dismissal. So it was absolutely fantastic to see all of that. And then as well, with Dean Algar's dismissal, the ball that dismissed him, Jasprit Bumrah once again squared him up with an absolute peach of a delivery, constantly bowling wicket to wickets. I could remember James and Umpo were in commentary talking about how the Indian bowlers forced the batsmen to play because of their flat wickets, and it got them the wicket. So it was a game where you could see good bowling was rewarded. You could see good batting and focused batting. What made Virat Kohli's innings so spectacular was the fact that he left so well. Oh, am I here? Yeah. In the game in Centurion, his leaves were fantastic. Didn't play at any unnecessary balls. It was just fantastic. 14 wickets that just kept giving the bowlers so much to work with. Cheteshwar Pujara also did well to score some runs. Guys, Test cricket, mwah, mwah, this is what we love, boy.
Okay, so we are. I can hear you. I got what you tried to say. I'm just going to reconnect again because you are getting a little bit fuzzy over there. Obviously, the movement is going to throw around the data, but we got to hear what he said. Mwah mwah and great Test cricket. Werner, you've also said it in the group. What Umpo mentioned about Aiden and looking a lot straighter. There was the wicket of Virat Kohli that I want to talk about there, that I noticed something different. And it's a lesson to South Africa's batters that maybe they shouldn't do this. I watched him step from leg stump right across past off stump almost as a trigger movement, and he was always forced to play that delivery or in a way that he went out to because of that massive movement that I feel he's making. I think there was a stat that was given by one of the India journalists that were actually at the ground. He said something. I can't remember the exact details to it, but I kind of have it. He said in about 2019, a majority percentage of his dismissals were happening when he was standing on middle stump, and then he moved over to a little bit more. I think it was first with leg stumps, middle stump, and then middle stump, and then he moved again. So when in 2019, for example, majority of his dismissals were middle stump. And when he moved across a little bit more to stop that from happening. Not middle stump bowled, either LBW or middle stump or bowled, whatever the case may be. But most of his dismissals came through middle stump. And then he moved over in 2021, and his wicket started being a little bit more on the off stump. And he was nicking off, and he was getting a little bit more wickets over there. And he's moved again a little bit more further. And as he moves, the more his wickets are actually becoming more to his guard where he's moving. So more dismissals were happening as he moved. So where you move in the crease and according to which bowlers you're obviously facing, it's going to make a massive difference. And you can see it particularly when the ball is moving around a lot. And I'm worried about Aiden, and that's why I'm bringing up Aiden. It's because we had this conversation about Aiden, talking about him hitting the ball straighter. We've seen how he's moved his guard. He's now standing a little bit more on off stump. He's trying to prevent that nick off. So obviously that's going to come into the equation over here, and we've already seen a little change in his technique. I know we haven't seen too much of him, but we've seen a little bit of a change in his technique. Werner, do you want to highlight that and maybe just talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah. So I've been talking about this throughout the whole series, him taking the off-stump guard and playing around his front pad, and him, that complicating matters and him leading to him getting RBW.
Uh-oh. No. This can't happen tonight. This can't happen today. But
Avengers disassemble. So when he came out, the first thing I looked at is where he was taking his strike, and I saw it was middle stump. So I immediately told you guys, okay, look, he's taking middle stump guard and he's looking to hit straight. And the moment he does that, he looks so much better and so much more in control and balance at the crease. So that's a big thing. So hopefully going into tomorrow, he'll continue doing that, and he'll continue to look to hit straight, because he looks so much better. And it's obviously the basics of cricket. Presenting the full face of the bat just gives you a better opportunity in the.
Oh, there's he gone. Okay, so we got a little bit of what he had to say. Yes, he's
Today,
back
I think
again.
it was.
Hopefully he
I
comes
read
back
somewhere
on.
it was upwards of 60% of his deliveries, which might say that we didn't make them play enough, but I don't think that's the case. I just think he played very well. He has so much control. I think his control percentage was over 90%. He looked in full control throughout the day. Any half volley he put away, he drove it down the ground, he drove it through the covers, he had no trouble. So, and the delivery he got out, you talked about, I think it was just situational based. It was only because he was looking to be a bit more positive, looking to.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to have to remove him and let him come back. But I guess what he's saying over there, Aaron, it's a little bit more situational. This dismissal, and I agree with that, because he was obviously trying to look to score runs, get more runs on the board as quick as possible. He knew that there was a wicket going to come really soon, and he tried to obviously push at it a little bit, and then lost his wicket. KG was just, KG in general also as well was just putting pressure on the other end, making it difficult for the bowlers at the other side to make it easier for the bowlers on the other side to actually play deliveries, etc. But what's your thought on the game from an India perspective? I mean, why do you think, Aaron, we are seeing this? I wouldn't say collapses, but these low scores from India on a regular basis now recently.
Sorry, Nigeria have just scored an absolute screamer in the Cup of Nations. But aside from
I'm missing
that,
a great game. Yes, I know.
it's a fantastic game. But in terms of the whole thing with India, it was a collapse today. I mean, they were 167 for 4 to 223 all out. They'll be absolutely kicking themselves. As Aditya and Impo rightfully mentioned earlier as well, with the average score, they're 50-60 runs short at the bare minimum. So I think India will be incredibly disappointed. In terms of today, I mean, just some loose shots and lack of application. And that's something that I've mentioned with England a lot recently, to be honest. You know, just gifting your wicket away. I can name at least 2-3 dismissals there that were completely unnecessary. But first and foremost, I have to just say, the Proteas bowling attack today were absolutely sensational. Every single one of them getting a wicket. Kagiso Rabada in particular, he is one of the best bowlers on this planet. He is incredible. When you watch him, it feels like the whole world just stops and watches. He's that kind of caliber. He's that ilk of seam bowler. And that spell to Virat Kohli today, we won't just be talking about that today or tomorrow or for the rest of the week. We'll be talking about that for years. It was absolutely compelling. It was fantastic Test cricket at its utmost best. So from that perspective, I think it was a mix of both. I think poor application from India, and this is something which, let's be honest, Aditya, has been happening for a long time, hasn't it? This over-reliance on the likes of KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. They need players to stand up. And one of them in particular today, who I thought he looked quite good at the crease, was Rishabh Pant. And then again, got out 27, not converting into a big score. And yeah, the collapse kind of followed from there. So a very disappointing day from an Indian perspective, an outstanding day from a South African perspective. The only thing that I will say, if I was to put a little bit of a dampener on the South African perspective for today, is the opening partnership again. And don't get me wrong, fantastic bowling from Jasprit Bumrah, absolutely sensational. But again, this opening partnership, at least in my opinion, it seems a little bit unbalanced at the moment. It seems as though we're seeing Dean, we're seeing Aidan Markram getting some fantastic individual performances, but as a partnership, they're not laying a solid enough foundation. And that's just my takeaway from that final session from a South African perspective.
Before we get our first caller on, which is Aswani, he's waiting in the background. I'm going to get him on very soon. I just want to ask James a question. I know he's driving at the moment, but now that he's here, I just want to ask him a question. I want to ask you about that opening partnerships and what you think is the issue with South Africa when it comes to keeping partnerships and building partnerships.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think you've got the difficulty that they have is being able to maybe really first up. That I don't know if they are leaving enough. Maybe that's just my perspective on it. But they do tend to, both of them seem early on, and Markram seemed particularly to be guilty of this in a number of innings, is that you want to play at the ball. Dean early on also seems to want to get bat on ball when he can. Maybe we don't leave enough on length is one thing that I was sort of seeing. It's difficult to say what exactly is causing that. We know that apart from this partnership, I think the one in the Wanderers, batter number 3 is coming in single digits for I think the last 5 or 6 Test matches, at least the last 3 or 4. So it's been very difficult. Hard to know what is sort of causing it. No, they're just not approaching, or they're not. I don't know if we're not doing our homework enough, working with them enough on that. You would think after 2:23, when we haven't been in the field the whole day, it would really be about intense concentration in the last few overs. I don't know. It's a tough one.
I actually agree with you 100% on that one about the leaving situation, because we've been speaking about that a lot. Okay, we got our first caller. Ashwani's on. Welcome to the show, brother. Have your say. I want to hear something about South Africa as well as about India. How are you feeling about India first and foremost?
I think India lost the opportunity today. Hello. Yeah, I think India lost the opportunity today because I think from 167 to 223 all out. And the wicket is in the last session. Wicket is literally easy to play on because of the sun is pouring on the wicket. So it is literally, you can say that batting wicket the third session, India lost the chance there. And wicket of Pant and Ashwin is literally, you can say that India on the back foot stage. I think India should score around 300 on this wicket. And India is literally short of 60 to 70 runs, because I think as the day progresses, second and third day is the best to bat on in the Cape Town wicket, which we saw in past matches. So I think India should score 300. But obviously, coming to Virat I think played fantastic innings. I think he could really could have got to the 71st century, but I think the wicket has come more out of the situation more than anything else, and it is also difficult. Why batting with the tail is so difficult? We saw the likes of VVS Lakshman, who is better at when tail is on, he's at his best. So I think India's batsmen, obviously, they are, you can say that they are not at its best, or you can say that they literally down India's chances to winning this series. That's I want to say. In last Coming to the South Africa, I think South Africa KG at his absolute best today. I think KG bowled what we expect from KG Rabada. He delivered today, and I saw after a long time that KG bowled spell like this. That spell reminded me of Dale Steyn versus Sachin Tendulkar. That happened in 2010 and 2011, where Sachin scored, I think, 146. It is very similar to that sort of spell. So my last point is, I think India should take advantage of first session, because your 1.5 days will be good for bowling. After that, Cape Town wicket is little bit flatter out, and also there is a little bit assist to spinners as well. India should take the advantage of first session. Otherwise, South Africa will marching on to the big scores.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ashwani, for coming on. I'm going to go straight to Mpo. Mpo, I want to ask you about the wicket. You obviously mentioned the wicket over there, and obviously it looks like there was a lot of sun when we left towards the end of the game. There's a lot of sun there baking. So I'm hoping it's going to continue like that tomorrow, because the more sun that this pitch gets, the better it'll probably be for batting. I'm going to throw in a question as well for you. Because it will probably it adds a little bit extra to it, and that's also from Lorenzo, who asked you about Maharaj and whether he'll be a factor, even though he already got a wicket in the match. Will he be a factor in the rest of the test later on? What do you think on that?
Look, I think the wicket's going to play fine. I think it's a good batting wicket. I think I was worried last night because I was thinking, Dean was talking about how good the wicket was, and the only thing that would be a problem is the batters not applying themselves. And India didn't apply themselves. To have all but one of your wickets being caught behind square is a problem. It's a serious issue in this format. And so it's something that India needs to work at, because even at the Wanderers, the 10 wickets in the first innings were caught behind square, which means you're playing outside off stump at balls you should be leaving at. Yes, you can say some balls were great and they were beautiful, and that's good, but it's about that application, that ability to leave outside the off stump. As James said, South Africa's openers don't leave as many balls outside the off stump. India's entire team don't leave as many balls outside the off stump. You can't be batting for a day or for half a day, for less than a day, if you think you want to win a test match here in South Africa. The key is to bat throughout the period, throughout a full day, a day and a bit, to give you that advantage. And that's how the successful teams have done in South Africa. So that's the one thing. And I don't think we should look to the pitch for the batsman's failings. That's the one thing I think we shouldn't do. Maharaj, best spinner in South Africa, he will come into play, but I don't think so with the way India is batting. I think India might find him a little bit easier to play, but he did bowl well for those 5 overs. He had 2 maidens. He did what Dean needs him to do, is to give him something different and to hold up an end. If, for instance, India in that third innings apply themselves and you have a 100-run partnership, you might find that Keshav's going to have a much bigger role to play. But the way in which India has batted over the last 2 innings, so actually 3 innings, the 2 at the Wanderers and now, you find yourself with a situation where all your quicks are going to take the wickets and Keshav will be left with the scraps, because the way in which the South African bowlers are going at it. Actually, no, India are batting. If you're playing a team like in Australia back in the day or England 2 years ago, Keshav's role becomes more important, because you know that there are you're going to be bowling for over 80 overs, more than 80 overs. And so Kesh is going to get 10, 15 overs while you're looking towards the new ball. Now, you no longer have that thought, because you have them out before the day's play ends. So even if you get to the new ball, your quicks are fresh because you're playing 4 quicks. And on top of that, you're already into the tail. So it's going to be interesting to see how Dean uses him. Dean wants him there. I agree he should be there. But Keshav might just be a little bit, okay, he can't be a passenger anymore because he's taken a wicket. But even in that third innings, the pitch might still be good for batting and still have some good bounce. So our seamers might come in.
Werner?
Keshav to make a 50 tomorrow and say why. That's why he's in the team. He's there to bat at number 3, get us a 50, get us through that period.
But that hamstring, I'm worried about that hamstring. That's the only problem I have with Keshav. Can he bowl with that hamstring niggle? Won't it hurt him? Won't it aggravate? We'll find out tomorrow morning. That's one of the storylines we need to watch out for, is Keshav's hamstring.
Yeah, let's see how he feels in the morning. Maybe a good night's rest. Maybe it's just a bit of a stiff leg. Maybe it's not too bad. And we saw that Siraj was open.
No. Why today, Werner?
He's got the Wanderers internet. It's inconsistent. Sometimes it's brilliant, other times it's not.
At least it's not dead all the time like Newlands is. Continue there, Werner.
I don't know what is happening today. It must be the full power of the. What did we say? The Avengers today. That's causing us. Or maybe James and Chippo are driving too fast and it's causing my connection.
Believe us, I bought data for this, mates. I bought data. Okay? South African data. It's expensive.
We appreciate it, Chippo. Yeah, what I wanted to say earlier was about KG's and Duan's opening spell. I thought it was a lot better today than it was in the first and the second game. Obviously, Duan didn't play in the first game, but that first hour we struggled in the first 2 games and we didn't bowl very well. And I thought today we were a lot better and we kept it a lot tighter. We beat the bats a lot more. So I thought it was quite good going from both of them. I thought Duan both up pressure from the other end as well as KG beat
Nah, it's not working.
Uh,
Okay, you back again, KG, on the other end.
No, yeah. So KG bowled around. The one got built up the pressure at the other end, and then obviously then also got the wicket. And I thought from there it set the tone. And then obviously there were some good partnerships throughout, but I think that it was only Kohli holding that innings together today. So I thought we bowled pretty well.
Okay. So I'm gonna basically wrap up soon, but I want to also teach you a massive question over here from Lorenzo. It's a question I want to ask him too. It's a little bit of a dig, a little bit of fun. So before the series started, we were asking you about your feelings about India and how convincingly they're going to beat South Africa in this particular series. So do you remember this? Is he asking you? Do you still think it's the case?
223%. Absolutely. Yes, I do. Look, no Indian team with Virat Kohli as captain is going to cave in very easily. It's going to take a lot. And even today, as I said at the beginning, that I thought 223 is below par. It's 50-60 runs short. But dismissing Dean Elgar early has arrested that advantage a little bit in India's favor. So we'll have to see how South Africa go tomorrow. They still have to bat. And this time around, look, I think for all the for all the talk about the advantage being with one team or the other, India won the first test convincingly. The second test went to a pretty deep stage of that last day, and it was still a competitive victory. So South Africa had to fight hard for it, which was great. But even with this game, it's going to take a serious batting effort for South Africa to be able to get a massive advantage over India. They'd have to score over 300, 320 runs to be convincingly in the driver's seat. And so I think it's a bit early to start singing the victory dance, but I do think that there's a long way off to go, and India will come good. King Kohli is back.
King Kohli is a king. So let's get into this. Aaron, I just want to get you from your point of view. This your final words, of course, and what you have for the next day. I mean, South Africa in a situation where I feel they've lost now. Obviously, they've lost their captain and the big boys. There's a TikTok meme. You have to G with the big boys, whatever. I don't know if you know the song, Aaron.
I didn't track that, bro. What's the move with the big
because.
shit.
So anyway, so what I want to smash the like button, please. 40 likes, please. I want to see on this video. But what I want to ask you is the rest of the guys now need to step up because now they've lost their captain early. Aiden, Rassi, Keegan, all the guys need to step up without the captain kind of holding things together like he did in the last game. So we really need those guys to really play their style of cricket and really trust their own ability right now. What's your thoughts on South Africa? What do they need to do? What do they need to do to actually put 350, 300 on the board? What should be their approach going into day two?
Well, it's an interesting one. First and foremost, hopefully Keshav, he can score some runs. I definitely agree with Werner's point. Nice 50, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? lay the foundation, set the tone for the Proteas. I know that is wishful thinking, but going back to what James said actually earlier about knowing when to leave on line, and the length as well. It's all about application. That is the key fundamental skill to good test batting. It's something which teams such as England at the moment just haven't been doing well. It's not attacking every single ball. It's knowing when to defend, when to leave, when to attack the loose delivery. That is what South Africa have got to do in order to be successful in this particular test match. Now, looking at Aiden Markram, I think he is going to be absolutely imperative to the Proteas' success tomorrow. I mean, we've already mentioned it. He looks a lot better with his technique, playing nice and straight, playing with the V as well. If he scores big, South Africa definitely have the firepower in that middle order to get 300, 350 plus. But that is a lot easier said than done. against this Indian bowling lineup. We've seen the likes of Bumrah. He had his tail up today. Mohammad Shami, he will come into this game as well. It's going to be tough. Of course it is. But you know what? Series decider. It's on the line. You've got the chance to maintain that perfect record against India at home. South Africa must be licking their lips. You're in such a good position ahead of day 2 tomorrow. And yes, I agree with what Aditya says. You can't win a test match on day 1, but you can go a long way to losing one. And if South Africa can, maintain that stranglehold on this game, continue to up the ante, apply the pressure tomorrow, get that big score, I fancy that they could pull this off, to be honest, heading into the rest of this test match.
Excellent. Okay, Tippo, James, if you want to have your final words, and then we'll say bye to everybody.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I agree with the sentiments just been mentioned completely. I think a lot of it's about application. You don't have to play at every ball. You don't have to regard this as you don't have to, keep that scoreboard necessarily ticking along. I think, it's really about application. It's about understanding you've got to bat long and bat strong. And that's about doing what Kohli did today. It's about understanding what the condition or what the situation is in the match and playing accordingly. There's 4 days left. There's not going to be any interruption for rain. The pitch is going to get probably better to bat on tomorrow and day 3. If South Africa are not batting on day 3, or if they're more than 4 or 5 wickets down at the end of day 2, I think they might lose the test match, because it's just, they need to score big in the first innings to put this test match beyond India. Day 3 is going to be a scorching day, 35 degrees. You don't want to be out in that heat. You do not want to be out in that heat, and you don't want to be fielding, because then your batters that are going to be coming in are going to be striking. So bat strong, bat long, and make sure you make every single run count. And your wickets have got to be precious. Can't give your wicket away. Cannot give your wicket away.
I just want to touch on what Aaron was saying as an opportunity for a very young South African team to do something spectacular here. As Aaron was saying, they're licking their lips. A very young side. Umpa was talking earlier before the commentary stint about underdogs and how this is the basically at a crossroad here. Underdogs will, after a fantastic performance, flop the next time around. But now with Dean Algo at the helm, yes, there's an opportunity for this team to go in one direction, to really stamp their authority against a very good Indian team. What I also want to see is Umesh Yadav. I want to see what happens. A little bit of spice here in the last test. And we saw what happened in Lords. Aaron definitely saw what happened in Lords. So anything can happen. And that's what we love about Test cricket, boy.
Sheppo, you had to bring that up, didn't you? Also, just a question from the live chat. You two have been driving for a while. Where's the destination? You off to Windhoek? You're going to Johannesburg? Where are you off to?
We're basically here now.
Yeah, we are.
We're basically here, but I don't want to leave the car. This is the conversation's too spicy.
That's why I pulled over. We're right where I'm dropping Tepa, so we just want to finish it off.
Awesome. Okay, let's get Aditya's thoughts and then Posh's thoughts and then Werner.
Well, tomorrow is going to be an important day for both teams, and it'll probably define who wins the test match. So I think India's bowlers are going to be pumped tomorrow. And Virat Kohli is going to make sure that they are. And I hope they continue bowling the way that they have been. Because if there's a highlight from this series, it's been India's bowlers, and Mohammad Shami tomorrow will come to the party. Bumrah has done well taking Aga's wicket, and Umesh Yadav, fresh bowler, he can crank up the speeds, and he can get it done as well. But then I also hope that India bats better in the second innings. From South African perspective, they're going to want to bat long and strong, as James said. And if they can, then they will effectively bat India out of the game. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
No, guys, you can't give India a chance tomorrow. You really can't. They will come out. They'll be fighting. Well, the same way they did this afternoon for those final 30 minutes. They were on the money. They were making South Africa play. But we've got a reference point. Wanderers was a reference point. If you bat like you did at the Wanderers in that second innings, in the fading light, in the gloomy conditions, the ball doing everything, it's much better here. It's a little bit easier. But if you use that as a reference point, you can get a little bit further along the way. You need to bat the entire day. That's the answer. If you bat the entire day, India's out this game. And that's essentially what this team needs to do. Nobody thinks you can do it. I certainly hope you can. And I certainly hope they do, because somebody needs to give us that big 100. Everyone's been talking about Big Daddy 100s. Tomorrow's the day for the Big Daddy 100 from whoever it is, either Aiden, Rassie, Temba, Keegan, maybe even Kesh. You never know. High score day tomorrow for Kesh with that hamstring. It's what it is. And if South Africa can do that, and as Dean Alga says, everyone needs to do their job. If they do their job, South Africa will win this game. And tomorrow is the day you hold control of the game and you don't give it away. If you want to give it away, we'll be here tomorrow. 11 more wickets will have fallen, and we'll be looking at ourselves going, how did we let that one slip away? I thought they did that at the Wanderers, but then on day 4 they came back. So if they can do that on day 4 at the Wanderers, they can certainly do that on a sunny day at Newlands with Table Mountain. It's like the best place to bat on earth, guys. Why would you want to get out? That's for me. That's the answer, guys.
Yeah, definitely. I know Algar talks about being the underdogs and fighting to get back into the game. We are in front of this game right now, so we need to play with authority. We can't let it go right now. I fully agree. I want us to also bat and try and get 350. I know it's a long way away, but that is what our aim needs to be. We need to get over 100-run lead here and make sure that we don't give India any sniff to come back into this game. I'd love to see us batting with that same positive intent that we did in the second innings of the last match, especially somebody like Rassie, who can get bogged down the moment he isn't positive. So I'd love to see him come in and play with the same mindset he played with in the last innings. See Markram continue to play straight the way he did today. I thought he looked very good, so hopefully he'll continue with that. And maybe even Peterson with a debut 100. What? I don't care who it comes from. I just want us to score a lot of runs tomorrow. If Kesh wants to stand and smash the ball for a 50, great. I don't care who it comes from tomorrow. I just want to see us make a team effort. In that second innings at the Wanderers, we got quite a few good, solid partnerships on a difficult deck. So if we can continue to make solid partnerships on this pitch, I think we're good. So obviously India are going to come out blazing tomorrow, and I'm sure the bowlers are going to bowl very well. But if we can, like the other guys said, bat the whole day tomorrow and keep India out there, especially somebody like Umesh Yadav, who doesn't have match practice in. He doesn't really have any match practice in for a while now. So if we can keep some of him like out there the whole day, he'll be down at, down on his feet at the end of the day, and we'll probably get easy runs at the back end of the day. And that's another thing to keep in mind. If you bat the whole day, by the end of the third session, those bowlers are so tired you can cash in on easy deliveries. So, and that's something we haven't done in a long time. So I'd love to see that happen tomorrow.
Awesome. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The link is in the description. Every issue 100% free. Smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to this channel, and click that notification bell for all future videos. We'll be back again tomorrow with another review show. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, your rest of your evening, as well as the rest of the game tomorrow as well, day 2. We'll be there at Newlands bringing you a live review. Take care, everybody.